Alright, so I just wanted to make my own little suggestion to people who play Gran Turismo Sport as far as, I'd say, racing aggressively. Um, Now, I just had an incident happen. I've had it happen before, but I was actually able to record it this time, where someone was tailgating me pretty good. I mean, I rewatched the footage and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. But they were on my ass, and I'm not gonna give up my racing line for them. They're the ones trying to pass me, and this guy had been on my ass pretty good. I just overtook him because he kind of messed up the previous corner. So, but he was on my ass, and you know, that makes me really nervous. Like when they're right there, especially when we're coming into a corner. So I eased into the brake a little bit because I didn't want them to rear end me. But what happened was I didn't really think he hit me, but he apologized. He said he hit me. I wasn't really sure, but he did, I guess. As you can see in the footage I'm going to show you, it's so minuscule. He didn't get penalized or anything, but he was there. He was right there, and it upset the balance of my car a little bit. And part of it was my fault. I should have just nailed the brake. I don't know why I try to be nice to people. I mean, you can't just fucking tailgate people and then expect not to eat rear bumper. Um, I just think I should have nailed the brake. I shouldn't have pussyfooted the brake like I did, because clearly he was going to hit me anyway. Um, but that's the thing. That's the thing I wanted to talk about, was how to overtake your opponents without crashing into them. Now, I understand following really close behind someone is a great way to pressure him, and no doubt he was pressuring me, but you know what works just as well? Is following your opponent, lap by lap, and not falling behind them. Consistently staying on their tail without following close behind them will make them nervous, because they're going to look behind them and they're going to always see your car within, X amount of distance. You might not be gaining, but you're certainly not falling behind them anymore. They're going to pay attention to those time gaps. That I think that works just as well. I think just consistently following your opponent makes them nervous, because if they screw up, you're going to be there to overtake them. If they get a little sideways coming out of a corner, you're going to be there. If you're consistent and you don't screw up like they do, you're going to do it. That's what I try to do. I try not to follow too closely to other racers. I try to, take it easy. I make it my goal. Each car I overtake, or each car I'm behind, is my single goal at that moment. It's not necessarily to win. I'm not trying to get immediately into first place. I'm just trying to overtake the next car. So I take it easy. I follow them around. It's alright. Now, of course, you can't always just sit behind them, 3 car lengths behind all the time. Sometimes you're forced to get in close with them. No doubt. But here's how you handle that situation, or at least this is how I handle it. When we're coming up to a pretty significant corner and I'm on their ass, I move to the left or to the right of them if I can, and I let off the throttle. Either I let off the throttle or I'll hit the brake first. Either way, what you're doing is you're setting yourself up to react faster when they do hit the brakes. I usually hit the brakes first. That's usually my go-to thing. I hit the brakes and then I ease up, and then I kind of modulate how much braking I'm using to keep up with them as we're coming into the corner, but also to slow down enough that I don't run into them. You don't have to. I would not late brake in this game to try to pass someone. It's not worth it. I've learned it the hard way. You can't play this like Forza. You can't just fucking late break into a corner and then and force your way in, because this game will penalize you even for the smallest contact. I've learned that the hard way. So it's better to try and raise your exit speeds coming out of a corner to try to overtake someone, rather than late break and try to overtake them coming into the corner. I mean, you can do that if you got good enough opening. If you got good enough opening, then I say go for it. If you think you can do it without hitting them, go for it. But for the most part, you're going to want to raise your exit speeds and try to overtake them that way, or just keep on them. Consistently stay behind them, follow them around the track until they screw up. Because that's the thing, that's what I do. I just follow them lap after lap and wait for them to screw up, and then I strike. It's the easiest way to overtake someone. It can, not necessarily the most productive way, but it's the safest way, because when they fuck up, their speed significantly, or could significantly decrease, and you can overtake them. But I've constantly seen people like just ride my ass, and I always feel bad, when they eat my rear bumper. I feel bad because they usually get penalized if it's a hard enough hit, and they really don't take much to get penalized. One of my first victories, man, someone really ass-packed me. Luckily, it didn't affect me, but they ass-packed me hard enough that it penalized them, and I always kind of feel bad, but you know what? If you follow close to someone coming into a corner, and you are just being overly aggressive about it, you deserve every inch of bumper you eat. And you know what? I've noticed something as I've been playing this game. When I first started, when my driver rating and my sportsman rating were in the shitter, I noticed a lot of people complaining about other people braking too early. Oh, you braked too early and made me crash into you. I seen that argument a lot when I first started playing this game on sport mode. But as I raised my driver rating and my sportsman rating, those complaints went away. You braked too early and made me crash into you turned into sorry for the bump. Sorry I ran into you. Sorry, it went from shitty attitude to good sportsmanship. And that incident with the MR2 one-make race, the guy apologized for bumping into me, and I didn't even really think he did. I wasn't sure. I thought I was hearing things when I heard the generic Gran Turismo sound effect for colliding into cars. I wasn't really sure if he did. I thought maybe, I was pussyfooting the brake a little too much, and I was nervous, and I wasn't, my steering inputs were kind of, I thought, that was, clearly that was part of it. I did pussyfoot the brake, but he did barely tap me. He did. His reaction time was pretty good, though, to be honest. To be able to react like that and barely hit me, that was actually pretty good. I'd say he's a fantastic racer, and I told him, don't worry about it when he apologizes. Like, it was more my fault than anything. I should have just fucking nailed the brake like I should have instead of pussyfooting around. I got what, I reaped what I sowed, It's racing, and the worst that happened, it wasn't that bad, because when I hit the wall, I picked up speed again, and I finished in second place. I started in second place, and I finished in second place, so you know what? It's fine. It's alright. It is nothing, but I think people should, be mindful of how close they're following someone as they're coming into a corner. I don't think people realize that they got to be more careful when they're racing aggressively like that. And personally, I think you don't have to be super close to someone to pressure them. I think consistently being behind them works just as well. Because trust me, I don't get close to people all the time. I usually just follow them around the track, and eventually they do screw up. Eventually they do enter a corner incorrectly, and I do, and I overtake them coming out of the corner. It's easier just to make each car a single goal than just trying to get into first place. But this video is 10 minutes long, and I'm pretty sure I rambled way too long, so I'll end it here.
Beneath our feet.